have experiences like that? Okay, so another time, which is made it even more popular for me to never have friends come over the house. So that same day, it was like the only time that I had like more than one person over the house, and then it was rare for me to even have one person over the house. So my mother even decided for us to make dinner for me and a couple of friends, and she made spaghetti. And again, being the European household that we were, she was trying to Americanize it. So she plopped down in front of everybody a wad of spaghetti because my mother cooked everything to its fullest. She would leave no thread uncooked. So we had this wad of overcooked pasta, and everyone's kind of looking, and she go, "Oh, you want the sauce?" Like everyone's looking at it, and she's like, he brought out the bottle of ketchup and went on everybody's spaghetti, and she was like, "There's your tomato sauce."
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I said, I didn't have friends come over very much.
Did your friends eat it?
Yeah, I think we did.
So do you eat spaghetti with ketchup these days?
No. No. So you don't have any experience, like you didn't have, I don't know, did you have,
I had Evie who lived in the building. She would come up sometimes to play, but I would go down to her house more than she would come up to me. And
the only time we would ever have...
And Margaret would come over, the one who lived across the street that I would wave to from the fire escape. She used to come up. She stopped coming up because when she would come up, my mom would still want me to do my homework, okay? So we would have to read. And Margaret was there, and she was not a good reader. My mother wanted to include her. So she would say, "Margaret, now you read." And Margaret couldn't read. She wasn't good at reading. So she was like, "Oh, I have to go home. My mom is waiting for me." And she, as soon as my mother would pull out the book, she would run. She would go.
I never remember Mom being involved in my homework ever.
No?
No.
Yeah, so.
Ever. I don't even, I do remember we were reading a book, like a nighttime book. And the book we read was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But that's the only thing I ever remember doing anything with schoolwork, ever.
But Mom never felt like she was a good enough reader. She felt like she didn't understand English well enough to help us. I think Ruth used to help me sometimes. And then I probably ended up helping you.
I'm sure, I don't recall.
My father never.
Oh, no.
Oh, except with the math.
No, Dad was the best.
The math, yeah.
He was the best at homework. Because if it was homework, if it was a project, all you'd have to do is say, "I'm having trouble with this." You'd give it to him. You come back 3 hours later, he was finished. He would just do it. Didn't care if you were there or not. He would just do it.
I think he liked doing those kind of things. He looked forward to
Worked for me.
What kind of things do you remember doing with your parents?
In the summer, we would go to the Bronx Zoo, and we would go on a Circle Line boat and Bear Mountain. And Fort Tryon Park on the weekends. That was, we didn't go out to eat. We didn't order in food. There was no such thing, I don't think, then.
Yeah, everything was very, very German. Everything was very regimented, even the fun.
Mm.
So once a year we would go on the Circle Line, which is a boat that went around the island of Manhattan. You do that once a year. Once a year we would go on the Dayliner, which was a boat that would left from the same pier, and it would go up to Bear Mountain.
Right.
You would get off. You would spend the afternoon in Bear Mountain, get on it, and come back down to Manhattan. And
we went to the Statue of Liberty.
Do you go to the Statue of Liberty? Probably once a year.
Yeah, probably.
Then, even though my dad wasn't working anymore, because he used to work in Brooklyn, which was quite a distance from where we lived, we still took the 2.5-hour train ride every day during the summer to Brighton Beach, even though there's beaches much closer, and took the 2.5 train ride back.
Orchard Beach.
Virtually every day during the summer.
Yeah.
But you did the bungalow thing. I never did the bungalow thing.
I don't even remember it that much. I know maybe one experience I remember at the bungalow.
So what the bungalow was, you would basically rent a cottage in the Rockaways for the summer.
Rockaway somewhere, yeah. I just remember it was a very, very windy day one time, and we were playing. There was like a little front yard area to the bungalow, and we would play there, and other kids who were in the area would come and play with us. But I remember one time on the beach, it was really, really windy, but we didn't go back to the bungalow. Mom kept us on the beach, and it was like a windstorm. It was really, really kicking up. So we built a sand wall. You don't remember building
I'm
a
sure
sand wall?
I wasn't part of the Rockaway stuff.
You don't think so?
No.
But we built it as high up as we could. We got the water and the sand, and we built it up, and we made this wall to try to keep the sand from blowing on us. That's what I remember.
Yeah, so like a treat for 5 hours on the subway. If we were leaving the beach, maybe like twice a summer, maybe once a summer, you'd be able to, before taking the train ride home, you can go in and buy a pickle out of a barrel.
Or a knish.
And that happened like maybe once a summer, maybe twice a summer.
Yeah.
That was good stern fun.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, because Mom's told me this a couple of times. It was like, for both of you, what was the first time you had pizza? What was the first time you had Chinese food?
Pizza I had at Joel's Pizzeria, which was down the block. So I think it might have been like 75 cents a slice or 50 cents a slice or something.
But I remember every time we would pass by, he would say, "Can we have pizza? Can we have pizza?" No, and we would walk right past. And one time she did say yes. And that was probably the first time that you remember.
Yeah. I don't remember the first time I had Chinese food. I don't have a...
That was with Ori and Kay when Mom and Dad went to Florida and we were staying with them.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. And I never knew what an egg roll was, and they were telling me to pick something from the menu, and I knew nothing about Chinese food.
So, all right. So around our block, like if you went down, there was a bakery.
Oh yeah.
So you would go there.
I used to get a free cookie.
Yeah, every kid. You
Yeah.
were special.
Oh,
Every kid, they would give a cookie when you walked in there.
uh-huh.
And so you know the expression that there's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, obviously sliced bread has not been around forever. So when you would buy bread at the bakery, they would cut the bread there. And
They had a machine that was so cool. They would put the loaf in, and they'd pull down the lever, and it would just magically cut the slices.
Magic.
so my father would ask for all the ends that people didn't want or that fell off on the side.
Yeah. Because the ends are the best part with all the
Again,
crust.
stern fun.
And the crust. You have to eat the crust because it makes your teeth strong. Ask Grandma. She'll tell you.
Yeah, ask her about her teeth.
Sorry, I interrupted. Go.
I remember there next to Joel's there was a deli, and we would literally not we, like me and a friend, like we would go in there and we'd go in there with a nickel, and like we get like for a nickel we get 2 slices of American cheese, and we each get one. We'd like that'd be like good fun. That was like a big thrill.
I remember there was a super in when we lived at the top of the hill. We used to play. There were steps that went up to the other side of the hill that went up higher, so we would play house, and you would be the baby, of course.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, you.
We played this game a lot.
You didn't play that with me.
I was.
Maybe we were at the bottom of the hill by then, but we used to go up the hill to play. Because all our friends were, higher up the hill. So we used to play there a lot. And there were rails, and there was this steps going up, and on the side there was a flat area, and so we would go to the side on the flat area and play there.
There was
so
nothing
there was
better. Again, good school, good city fun. There was nothing better.
No, my fun was I used to go into the basement of the building next to us where there were a lot of cats. And I used to go there and play with the cats. And I'd be there for hours. And Mom wouldn't know where I was. And she would have to come out and look for me and she would get scared. She didn't know.
For us, a big thrill is when a refrigerator got delivered to the block. And then there was a box.
Right? Yes.
So for a while it was like a house, and then it got beat up, and it became something else. And then at the end, these steps you were talking about.
That's where the box was. That's where we would play house.
You timed it?
Okay. So when the box deteriorated, after it became a sled, and you would slide down the steps on top of the box. But no, back to your period. There was definitely a season. So there was a season for the Circle Line, a season for Bear Mountain. And we used to
always around my birthday.
And then we used to go to the farm. That was our thing. You never went to the farm as a kid?
The farm that her cousins owned.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And I used to ride the ponies.
So that was a week vacation in the Catskills.
It used to be more than a week. It used to be a few weeks.
Okay.
Or maybe as you got older, it was less time. Maybe it was a week that you remember. We used to pick berries. We used to milk the sheep.
Right, how? You milk the sheep?
Or goats. They were goats, not sheep.
What's that
There
from
were
Three
ducks.
Amigos? Watch the sheep.
And there was the swimming pool, and they had a little camp. And at the end of the night, they would give all the kids who were there milk and cookies. Do you remember
They called
that?
it milk and cookie time.
Milk and
We
cookie
were
time.
there.
Yeah.
We took every.
We did. We felt afterward we had to wash ourselves in Purell for a long time. After that trip, it was kind of gross.
Yeah.